Hello, this is Amanda from Multisoft Corporation, your MLM solutions provider. Today I'm going over session 4 of compensation training. I'm logged in as an admin and I'm under user and user management. And we're going over the shortcuts when you hover over a user's name. And right now I'm going to go over enrolling sponsor. There's certain rules that you want to go by when you're changing the sponsor of a certain distributor. So the first rule you need to remember is that when I change somebody to a different sponsor, everybody that they've brought into the company underneath them, they're personally enrolled, will also move with them. So let's look at Chase for an example. He's currently right now enrolled under sponsor 100,000. If I was to change him to a different sponsor, everybody that he enrolled would also move with him. So let's go over to advanced search. I'm going to put his sponsor ID right here and click search. So see, all of these users, customers, and distributors will move with Chase when I move him under a different sponsor. That's the first rule you want to keep in mind. And here's the second rule. The second rule is I cannot change somebody who I personally sponsored to be over me. So an example of that would be, so this is Xavier. He is personally sponsored by 100,003. So I can't go to 100,003 and move them under Xavier. So let's go ahead and look at an example of that. And I'm going to go to the genealogy tree. So let's go ahead and look under 100,003 and then we'll find Xavier. So to find the genealogy tree, we'll go to Company, Genealogy, Company Genealogy. Okay, so here's our tree, and you can see that here's 100,003, this is Avery, and this is Xavier 100,005. I can't move 100,005 to be their sponsor because they directly sponsored Xavier. It creates a loop because the system knows that this is their personally sponsored, so it won't allow it. So I can show you what happens when you try and do that change. I'm going to go ahead and go to 100,003 and try and change their sponsor from 100,002 to 100,005. So let's go ahead and go back to user management. Okay, so let's look for 100,003 and I'm going to go ahead and click the enrolling sponsor and I'm going to try and change them to 100,005. So let's go ahead and click on Change Sponsor Placement. And when you're putting these in, you're going to put it in, click, and wait for it to save so it shows the name that you'd like to change the sponsor. So this is the current sponsor, and this is the sponsor I'm changing to. So let's go ahead and put that in. And you can do it all the way across. Okay, so I see my new sponsor that I want to be placed there, and I'm going to do auto balance and put in my notes. You want it to be 15 characters, and then I'm going to hit save. So if you'll notice that the system did not allow me to do that change, it just put everything back, and that's because it's a loop, so it won't allow you to do that. So that's the second rule you want to look at when you're doing a change is, am I trying to place this under somebody that they sponsored them? Because then I won't be able to do that. So I'm just going to show you how to do just a regular sponsor change. If you want to change somebody, let's just look for somebody here. So this particular person, 100,008, is sponsored under 100,001. So I can move them under anybody that isn't 100,001 because that's their personally sponsored. So let's go ahead and move this person, 100,008, under 100,002. So we're going to go ahead, hover, enrolling sponsor. We're going to do change placement, and we're going to put in here 100,002. We're going to do it all the way across just like we did before. We can see the new sponsor is under here. right, and I'm going to do auto balance. I'm going to go ahead and hit save. So you can see it did the change. You might notice that if you're in the binary or matrix, you might see a different name as far as the placement, and that is fine. It'll find a correct placement because there's so many spaces that can be filled in the binary matrix. If you want them placed somewhere else, you would just simply figure out who you want them placed under and you can update it there. You can also show history, so it'll show any kind of history of anybody who made the change. It'll show who it was changed by, the genealogy, and then the reason. When you hover over it, shows the reason as well. So it's good to have that information so you can know who's doing all the changes and why they're doing those changes. So that goes over the sponsor placement. And next we're going to go over edit status rank. What this does is this allows you to change the rank of somebody, what we call vesting. So let's go ahead and click on somebody. Let's click on Maria. It has to be a distributor. Let's do edit. So the first thing you want to do is see which system you'd like to vest them in. I'm going to go ahead and check the unilevel system. You want to make sure and check it. It'll say please check to vest. And the reason they're not all checked is maybe you don't have all the systems, but maybe you only want to vest them in a particular system and not the other, depending on which one you want them to meet those commissions in. You want to make sure that standard vesting radio button is selected, and then this is where you pick the rank. So it'll have all your ranks listed in here. It's the test system, it only has one, so I'm going to go ahead and give this person the test rank. And then it has the start date and end date. This means how long do you want them to keep this rank. So if I want them to keep this rank for a year, I can go a year. One thing I need to keep in mind is if I say I want to make them vested to this test rank to the 29th, if the period ends on the 31st, the system will vest until the end of that period. So if I want to go out a long time and vest them until the 21st, it's not going to vest them only to the 21st, it's going to vest them all the way to the end of the month, which is the 31st. So that's something to also keep in mind when you're doing any kind of vesting. And you're going to put in your reasons. And you're going to go ahead and click update. And it'll take you back to the user management screen. Let's go back to that user. I'm going to go ahead and click back on the edit status rank. It shows in here, but I also want to show where it shows the vesting history. And it'll show who made the change, the date that they selected, and then the reason. And then we can further check this when we go to commissions. Let's go to plans, calculate commissions. Now the main thing you have to remember is anytime you do a change, you do need to calculate commissions for it to show, also in the genealogy tree. So if you vest them and you haven't calculated commissions, it will not show up in the genealogy tree and it won't show up in the commissions. So make sure anytime you do a change, you go in and calculate commissions. Let's click on period ID 1. So right now it's only showing people who have earned commissions. If you want to look at the rank, you're just going to display income centers that have not earned any commissions. Click on search. And then let's look for Maria. You can see that she was vested to the test rank. So this means she didn't actually earn those qualifications. You just went ahead and gave her that rank without her earning the qualifications. Now, if you do have higher ranks and she meets those qualifications of the higher ranks, she will earn the higher rank. This will not keep her vested at a lower rank. So that's something good also to remember. Let's go back to user and user management. I'm going to hover and we're going to go to commission adjustment. So a commission adjustment is something where it's a manual adjustment that you'd like to add. Let's go back down to Maria and I'm going to show you how this works. So you're hovering and you click on commission adjustment. You always want to add commissions to open periods and not closed periods. And that's because when you're creating an adjustment for an open period, it looks at all of those incoming orders and it will go ahead and keep track of that and calculate. If it's to a closed period, it doesn't do anything but add it to the closed period. So if this was a negative adjustment and you add it to the open period and the person made some commissions, it would go ahead and deduct the commissions that they have brought in so that they don't owe as much. And same thing with if you're adding a adjustment to a closed period, it won't show that in the payout when you're calculating commissions to pay out because it's closed and it won't let you calculate it in there. So you always want to make sure and add it to an open period. I'm going to go ahead and create a negative adjustment, and you just click on down, you click debit, make sure that it's in the open period, put the amount. You don't have to put a negative sign. Put in your reasons, and then you're just going to hit save. And you can see right here, it shows the history, who changed it, and you can delete it if you'd like. It doesn't have to stay in there. So this is part of the adjustments. You can also add a credit adjustment. So I'm going to go ahead and add a credit. We'll go ahead and do $10 for the credit. And I'm going to hit save there. So you can see now I have my negative that I made, my positive that I made, the reason, the date, change date, and who it was changed by. Let's go back to plans and calculate commissions. So this is one place you will see the adjustments show up without calculating, but you do want to calculate commissions in case Maria made any commissions that will cover some of the costs. So common reasons that people might use a negative adjustment is someone wants to come into the company, but they maybe don't have the initial fees. So you could create a negative adjustment and take it out of their commissions as they're earning commissions. So let's just go ahead and click on period ID, and you'll be able to see where that negative adjustment is applied. And in this instance, if there's any kind of commissions at all, you don't have to have that checked. It will show right here. So here's Maria, here's her adjustment. And then if she does bring in any commissions, it'll just keep subtracting that from what she owes. Let's go back to user management. All right, let's hover. And we're going to go over edit volume. This is only used for binary systems. I'm going to go ahead and click on that. So the main thing to remember when you're using this, and this isn't a binary system that I have set up, so I'm not able to put in an example for you, but it will only add or remove points, and only for a certain distributor, points for the upline will not be affected. So that's as much as I'm going to go over that, but if you have further questions, we will have other videos with examples on how to do that in the binary system. And then the next thing, I'm going to go over disable commissions. So sometimes disable commissions and delete is confused. If I delete a distributor out of the system, they cannot get to their back office, they can't sign into order, and they can't sponsor anybody. I'm also not charged for Multisoft for having them part of my system. So there's a fee for each distributor you have. That charge will not be applied. If I disable commissions, they can still log in, they can still order, they can still sponsor, they just do not earn any commission. So if you have any distributors who are just going to be part of the company and they just don't want to earn any commissions, or for any reason you don't want certain users to earn commissions, they're just part of the company getting their wholesale prices and all that, you can just disable the commissions right here. And it's very simple. You're just going to click on disable commissions, click OK. And put in your reasons. Make sure it's 15 characters and click disable commissions. And that will disable the commission. So I'm going to hover over this particular user again so you can see there's no longer a lock here showing that they are not able to earn commissions. And you can still add adjustments if you would like into their system. They're just not going to be earning any commissions off of orders and such. And you can make them active again as well if you'd like to. Please share this webinar training with your company administrators and support team in order to enhance the services provided to your customers and distributors. We appreciate your feedback and input. Please let us know if this helped and how we can improve supporting you. If you have any questions about this or any other trainings, would like to schedule one-on-one training with one of our CSRs, or would like to speak with a Multisoft account executive, please call us at 1-239-945-6433 or submit help desk ticket request at helpdesk.marketpowerpro.com.